Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up, what up, fans of the fucking sport? How y'all feeling? Hope everybody's doing well. A little bit different video today, right? This is brain surgery, okay? This is brain surgery. This is a brain surgery video. Because I honestly need to know what the fuck you niggas be thinking. Or if you be thinking. That's right, I said you be thinking. It's slang. Boxing fans are weird. It's weird. It's like you almost don't know how to get out of your own way, right? Boxing fans don't know how to get out of their own way. Like all I hear every day, 24/7 from the boxing community is dudes constantly calling fighters duckers, right? Constantly pining, saying that, oh, the best need to fight the best. Why don't we get the fights that we want? This guy's ducking, that guy's ducking. He don't want to fight this guy, right? This is all I hear from you, right? Oh, these fighters are scared to lose. It's the Mayweather curse. Ever since Mayweather, fighters, they think they're all supposed to go undefeated, right? This is what I hear. And it's what you hear too. It's what you say. It's what a lot of you say. A lot of you are saying this shit, right? All fine, well, and good, right? But then, oh, if a fighter loses, when a fighter loses their first fight, you motherfuckers go ape shit. Like, do you hear that? Do you see that? Do you smell it? Do you sense your own bullshit? You want the fights, then when you get it, oh, Keith Thurman loses, get his first, he got one loss on his record, one. And now he's trash. He was overrated, he got exposed. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, you're the one that thinks that fighters are supposed to go undefeated. It's you. It's you. Teofimo Lopez is 24 years old. He got one loss. I mean, he got a pretty decent resume, boxing resume. I mean, he fought Kome, Loma, Nakatani, and he just lost to Kambosos. But he's trash now. He got exposed. Never mind all those other fights. He got exposed. Right? Y'all funny, man. You're fucking weird. You're fucking weird. Social media has, I think, this is my opinion, okay? Social media has men being real extra online, on YouTube, social media, real extra, all in the name of getting likes, hits, clicks, hearts, followers, subscribers, etc. That's why you say the dumb shit you say. Because the truth of the matter is, most of us can't go toe to toe with any professional boxer. Fine, all fine. But, and I'm not trying to take criticism away, but to take these guys, they got 20 some wins, 18 wins, whatever it is, 15 wins, you know, and they get one loss. And you gotta take it to, they trash, they got exposed, they ain't shit, they a pussy. You do that because it has shock value. You might not even realize that you're doing it. Because the truth of the matter is, you know that these fighters are good. You know these fighters are damn good. You don't get there without being that. With few exceptions. With a few exceptions. Don't get me wrong, there are some frauds in boxing, but like, I don't think y'all are using the right criteria to determine who's a fraud and who's not. It's just me. I get it. I know cap travels a lot faster than truth. Razzle dazzle, rah rah bullshit travels a lot faster than the truth does. The Charlos know that all that toxic energy that they put out, y'all are gonna like that shit. Y'all are gonna be drawn to it and put them on a higher level than they should be. Maybe not so much Jamel. I think Jamel Jamel is really with it. I have yet to see him turn down a challenge. I've yet to see him take one step back away from anybody. So I guess I'm talking about Jamal Charlo. Like some of these people that y'all are like so high up on, it's all icing and no cake, bro. Let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. Like as a kid, I can very clearly remember sitting around, you know, my father, uncles, my grandfather, you know, my father's friends and shit while they watching boxing, different fights. It could have been Sugar Ray, it could have been Sugar Ray Leonard, of course. It could have been Mike Tyson, or it could have been any fight, right? It could have been Lennox Lewis, or you know. I'm dating myself. I'm just trying to date myself for y'all. Maybe not Lennox Lewis. I was a little older by then. But I can remember sitting around these guys and listening to how they talked about the sport. Like that's what I come from. So that's where my perspective comes from. Like what I can't remember, but I absolutely can't, and I tried. I'm a researcher. I tried. But what I can't remember not one of those men roasting a fighter for losing a fight. You know, saying that he's trash or he got exposed because he lost the fight. I can't remember them landing on super thick when a guy wins a fight. It's like they go in to the fight, into fight night, when we sit down and, you know, eat our snacks and pizza and drink our drinks and beer or whatever it is. We know going in, somebody's going to win, most likely, and somebody's going to lose. Unless it's a draw, of course. So, I just don't understand all the extra shit, right? Just all this extra shit. I don't get it. That's just me. Like, if it made sense, if it makes sense to you, cool. But I don't see how you can go from being, a great fighter to being trash after one loss. Make it make sense. Like, y'all doing way too much, bro. Way too much. Now, what I would hear, the most you would ever hear back then is, I think this guy might be a little overrated. I think he's overrated. Okay, that's a criticism. Hype trains existed back then. Of course they did. My grandfather, I'll never forget this. My grandfather always said Mike Tyson was overrated. And the day that he fought somebody that was going to push him back and not be bullied will be when he loses. He said, call Tyson a bully. He said, that's all he is. He's a classic bully. When you hit him in his mouth, proverbially, of course. When you hit him in his mouth, he'll back off. He'll lose his cool. My grandfather said that. Clyde said that. And that just made me think, like, because of the type of video this is, and I just said Clyde, it made me think of, yeah, this is Clyde Smith. Yeah. And I'm gonna kick you in your ass and all that shit. If you know, you know, right? Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna lay something on you real quick. Hopefully, it's not something that's alien to you. Hopefully, it's something that you have heard before. Or if you haven't, something that you can understand. And here it goes. The opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Got it? The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Semicolon. Hate is misguided love. Hate is misguided admiration. Hate is misguided admiration. Misguided love. To drive the point home, all I kept hearing before the Kambosos fight, and before I even go here, I'm gonna just, people, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I don't come from a fanboy perspective. Like, I just tell it the way I see it. I'm not gonna say it. I don't come down the middle either, because truth doesn't lie in the middle. Truth sometimes will be to the right or to the left. and the truth is in the middle, that's where I'm going to try. That's where I'm going to be. But anyway, this is not a Teofimo Lopez channel. Teofimo Lopez did himself absolutely no favors. He deserves no sympathy except from his family, his loved ones. And the post-fight excuses definitely did not help him at all. And the shit needs to stop ASAP. But let's cut the bullshit and not pretend that this is the first time this has happened in boxing. A fighter came with excuses, okay? Like, a lot of you quote-unquote brothers had no problem with the bronze twerker's excuses, his list of excuses. You had no problem with it. Not only did you not have a problem with it, you subscribed to his bullshit. Right? You did. You subscribed to the bullshit that he was all those excuses. You ran with him. That's embarrassing, dude. That's fucking embarrassing. Just so that you can turn around a few months later and roast another guy for excuses. Like, who are you dudes, man? But this is all a result of not being connected to shit. You ain't connected to nothing. That's why you can say something, you can go to one end of the spectrum for one person, because it's all about people. You're fans of boxers. You're not a fan of the sport. So you'll support this guy no matter what he does, and then another guy will do the same thing, or to a much lesser scale, and you'll roast him for it. No credibility. None. Zero. But let me drive this point. Let me say this. Let me make this point about Teofimo Lopez. And then I'm going to let y'all go. Okay? All I kept hearing before the fight, before the George Kambosos fight, right? Is, not before the fight. I kept hearing that he's not undisputed. He's not undisputed this, and he's not undisputed, right? Devin Haney has the belt. Devin Haney is the real champion. Is the real WBC champion. You don't give a fuck who Devin Haney beat to get the belt. You don't care if he had to beat anybody. You don't care if he got that belt in the mail, by email, by telephone. You don't care. You don't care. But it's true. Devin Haney had the WBC belt through some bullshit. And you know it. So you didn't want to give Teo credit for being undisputed. Right? You didn't want to do that. But after the fight, the guy that beat him, oh yeah, George Kambosos, he's undisputed. Y'all wild. You're wild. Shout out to New Media Today, USA Boxing. I hope I got that right. It's no disrespect, bro. Like, love your channel. Keep it coming, bro. But I saw that he asked a question on his podcast. He's saying on his live stream, and he said, well, how was the franchise title? How was that given? And he's right. The franchise title was created out of thin air, just like he said. But all the belts are created out of thin air. the thing about it is that franchise title was beaten off of Lomachenko, whereas the WBC title was not beaten off of anybody. Do you get that? That's all we're saying. Yes. I mean, if we want to go to titles being created out of thin air, all the belts are created out of thin air. That's not the issue. That's beside the point. The point is how are these belts being passed around? That's the point. That's the point. Devin Haney was given that title that WBC belt. That was just ridiculous. Okay. Now, here's my other point about Teofimo Lopez. I kind of digressed right there, but here's my point about Teofimo Lopez. And it really makes the point about the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference. If you guys really, really see this guy as a fraud, as he's trash, like he was never really that good, why are you cutting video after video after video after video about this guy that's trash? Make it make sense. Make that make sense. Like, if you can, try to go ahead and make that make sense. Right? Like, we see this a lot. It's only, if you notice, it's only used on people who are very sure, very sure of themselves, very confident. These are the only men that get these arguments. A Teofimo Lopez, a Kanye West, a Kobe Bryant. I know everybody loves Kobe now. Everybody, right? But when the guy was alive, he was probably the most hated basketball player. Why? Because he didn't care what you thought about him. And for whatever reason, this society always hates people like that. Y'all want people to care what you think. Those are the types of men that y'all respect. Y'all don't like strong men. A Donald Trump. Right? Y'all don't like people like that. People that's gonna give it to you straight, no matter how you feel about it. Me, I prefer people that way. Not because I agree with everything they say. No. I'm a fucking man. Like, I don't need to agree with everything nobody say. I don't agree with everything my father says. Trust me. But that's not a requirement for me. Y'all sit there and say, this boy ain't shit, he trash, he a pussy, he a duck, he a fraud, he's just all this stuff. Because he lost one fight. But every video you make is about this bum. Something ain't. I'm sensing some misguided love. I'm sensing some misguided admiration. And you can go ahead and admit it. You admire that kid. You admire people who don't give a fuck what you think and who are very confident in themselves. You admire that. You wish you had that. You wish that was you. That's why when you see guys like that take a step back, take a loss, uh, get hit with something, or like their wife leaves them, or anything like that, like you get so giddy. You get so giddy about that. It just makes you feel better. I told you this was brain surgery. Listen, my point is, my point is, if we want to get the fights we want, we got to go back to behaving like those men back in the day. See, they didn't get, and I get it, you got social media, you got people chasing likes and all that, but in this space, in the boxing space, in order to get the fights we want, we got to stop doing that. Why do I say that? Fighters have social media too, bruh. They see how you act when a guy takes a loss. You think Spence he probably would have been had the Terrence Crawford fight, but he don't want to be called a fraud. He don't want to be called trash. He's an Olympic, I think Olympic gold medalist, silver medal or something. I know he medaled in the Olympics. People don't go through all this shit. They have families. They have to see all this bullshit too. Like, if you want to get the fights you want, bring the rhetoric down just a couple notches. Tell the truth. And stop right there. All the fraud talk, all the exposed talk, that shit needs to stop. And be preserved for when there's really an expose. Right? Now, to me, there's this might have to be another video, what I was about to say, and maybe it will. Maybe we'll do a part 2 if I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, fellas. Hey, do me a favor though. Go ahead and hook off on that like button. Right? Keep it short and compact. Hook off on the like button. And then bang that subscribe as well. Okay? You guys enjoy your day. Peace.